This poem is called The Last Leaf by Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. I saw him once before as he passed by the door, and again the pavement stones resound as he totters o'er the ground with his cane. They say that in his prime, ere the pruning knife of time cut him down, not a better man was found by the crier on his round through the town. But now he walks the streets and looks at all he meets. Sad and wan he shakes his feeble head, that it seems as if he said, "They are gone." The mossy marbles rest on the lips that he has pressed in their bloom, and the names he loved to hear have been carved for many a year on the tomb. My grandmama has said, poor old lady, she is dead long ago, that he had a Roman nose, and his cheek was like a rose in the snow. But now his nose is thin, and it rests upon his chin like a staff, and a crook is in his back, and a melancholy crack is his laugh. I know it is a sin for me to sit and grin at him here, but the old three-cornered hat and the breeches and all that are so queer. And if I should live to be the last leaf upon the tree, in the spring let them smile as I do now, at the old forsaken bough where I cling. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never-haves. Then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. This poem is called The Mower by Philip Larkin. The mower stalled twice. Kneeling, I found a hedgehog jammed up against the blades. Killed. It had been in the long grass. I had seen it before, even fed it once. Now I had mauled its unobtrusive world, unmendably. Burial was no help. Next morning I got up and it did not. The first day after a death, the new absence is always the same. We should be careful. Of each other, we should be kind. While there is still time. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. This poem is called Fiddler's Green, and its author is lost to history. Halfway down the trail to hell, In a shady meadow green are the souls of all dead troopers camped near a good old-time canteen. And this eternal resting place is known as the Fiddler's Green. Marching past straight through to hell, the infantry are seen, accompanied by the engineers, artillery, and marines. For none but the shades of cavalrymen dismount at Fiddler's Green. Some go curving down the trail to seek a warmer scene. No trooper ever gets to hell ere he's emptied his canteen, and so rides back to drink again with friends at Fiddler's Green. And so when man and horse go down beneath a saber keen, or in a roaring charge of fierce melee, you stop a bullet clean, and the hostiles come to get your scalp. Just empty your canteen and put your pistol to your head and go to Fiddler's Green. This poem is called Good Bones by Maggie Smith. Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there is a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, there is a child broken bag sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world's at least half terrible. And for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you, though I keep this from my children. I'm trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor, walking you through a real shithole, chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. The saddest thing I ever did see was a woodpecker pecking at a plastic tree. He looks at me, and friend, says he, things ain't as sweet as they used to be. Every morning, suit, you are waiting on a chair to be filled by my vanity, my love, my hope, my body. Still, only half awake, I leave the shower to shrug into your sleeves. My legs seek the hollow of your legs, and thus embraced by your unfailing loyalty, I take my morning walk, work my way into my poetry. From my windows I see the things, men, women, events, and struggles, constantly shaping me, constantly confronting me, setting my hands to the task, opening my eyes, creasing my lips, and in the same way, suit, I am shaping you, poking out your elbows, wearing you threadbare, and so your life grows in the image of my own. In the wind, you flap and hum, as if you were my soul. In bad moments, you cling to my bones, abandoned at nighttime, darkness and dream. People with their phantoms, your wings and mine. I wonder whether someday an enemy bullet will stain you with my blood, for then you would die with me. But perhaps it will be less dramatic, simple, and you will grow ill, suit, with me and my body, and together we will be lowered into the earth. That's why every day I greet you with respect, and then you embrace me and I forget you. Because we are one being, and shall be always, in the wind, through the night, the streets and the struggle. One body, maybe, one day, still. This poem is called Aspects of Robinson by Weldon Keys. Robinson at cards at the Algonquin. A thin blue light comes down once more outside the blinds. Gray men in overcoats are ghosts blown past the door. The taxis streak the avenues with yellow, orange, and red. This is Grand Central, Mr. Robinson. Robinson on a roof above the heights, the boats mourn like the lost. Water is slate, far down. Through sounds of ice cubes dropped in glass, an osteopath dressed for the links describes an old in-tourist tour. Here's where the old gibbons jumped from, Robinson. Robinson walking in the park, admiring the elephant. Robinson buying the Tribune. Robinson buying the Times. Robinson saying, "Hello, yes, this is Robinson. Sunday at 5. I'd love to. Pretty well, and you?" Robinson alone at Longshanks, staring at the wall. Robinson afraid. Drunk, sobbing Robinson. In bed with the Mrs. Morse. Robinson at home, decisions. Toynbee or luminol. Where the sun shines, Robinson in flowered trunks, eyes toward the breakers. Where the night ends, Robinson in East Side bars. Robinson in Glen plaid jacket, Scotch grain shoes, black four-in-hand in Oxford button-down. The jeweled and silent watch that winds itself. The briefcase, covert topcoat, clothes for spring, all covering his sad and usual heart, dry as a winter leaf. This poem is called If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you, except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. This poem is A Dream Lies Dead by Dorothy Parker. A dream lies dead here. May you softly go before this place, and turn away your eyes, nor seek to know the look of that which dies. Importuning life for life, walk not in woe, but for little. Let your step be slow, and of your mercy be not sweetly wise, with words of hope and spring, and tenderer skies. A dream lies dead, and this all mourners know. Whenever one drifted petal leaves the tree, through white of bloom as it had been before, and proudly waitful of fecundity, one little loveliness can be no more. And so must beauty bow her imperfect head, because a dream has joined the wistful dead. This reading is the Litany Against Fear by Mr. Herbert. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it is gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. This poem is called When I Heard the Learned Astronomer by Walt Whitman. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams, to add, divide, and measure them. When I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. This poem is called In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. This poem is Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove. He knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet, only tulle. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice and the ground. Since then 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. This poem is called High Flight by John Gillespie McGee, Jr. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung, high in the sunlit silence, hovering there. I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long delirious burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while the silent lifting mind I've trod, the high untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. This poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This poem is called 8 Wishes for the Cloths of Heaven by William Butler Yeats. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim, and the dark cloths of night and light, and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. This poem is called The Tyger by William Blank. Tyger, tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could they twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain, and what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tyger, tyger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions red which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear, my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck. Boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This poem is called A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone, for those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward, at once before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures. Like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who are imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hoped to silence us for all of us. This instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid. It might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid. It might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid. Love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid. Love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid. Our words will not be heard, nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive.
Yesterday morning, the guy honked quite literally 30 times on the way to the crossing and through it. There was no one at the crossing. It's just this guy said, I really need to honk this horn right now. Every toot of that horn brought back a long-absent lover, or perhaps righted some existential wrong in the balance of his life, and just made him feel more whole, I guess. And it kept happening. He just kept tooting that horn, and he had to. For the sake of his soul, for the sake of his life, to toot the horn. And he just kept going at it. And every push of that button fed him positive endorphins, positive dopamine. It made up for all of the shortcomings in his career to this point. Everyone who passed him over for a promotion or said he was dumb, or that he was a sloppy eater or kept a poor home, or that he was sad and lonely and had eyes that haunted others. Every press of that button made that slightly more correct in the grand balance of things. Every long toot, a reaffirmation that no, he is not a loser, and that he is not alone. But as the horn fades, that sharp burn of reality comes back, and he starts to have doubts, and perhaps it sits right above his stomach, right below the sternum, in that pit of anxiety. Perhaps it nests there and burns outward in a radius and slowly boils over him till he panics and his fingers begin to shake and his toes begin to tap, and he presses the button again. Must be hard to be a train man.